for someone who's right at the start of their business journey, we promised today that we would talk about having the courage to double your revenue. What does it take to really do that?
Yeah. Well, I want to come back to awareness. I think we started on that. So alliances is such a great place to start. Who is already talking to your market? And there was a great book I read once called Smart Match Alliances. It was by Ernest F. Oriente and Judy Feld. And they asked the question, what are your dream alliances? Like, just think about it. If you had golf clubs, wouldn't you like a special coupon be handed out to everyone who buys a Porsche? If you have expensive golf clubs, wouldn't that be awesome? And I started thinking, oh, geez, I'm a coach. What would I like? I'd like to be Yahoo. Yahoo was big at the time. I'd like to be Yahoo's chosen coach. People can come and ask questions, and Yahoo promotes me. So you start thinking about your dream alliances. What about your dream platforms? You might want to pitch Anna on being on her podcast. That might be an edge for you, right? But what have you got to lose? You only got to know. I bet if you pitched her a really interesting story and you had really interesting content, you'd be in with a shot. I look for an angle, like, oh, I know someone, or I ask for an introduction and like that. But what you said is great. I'm listening to the West Wing Weekly right now, which is a podcast all about the West Wing, which is a
Mhm.
show I'm crazy about. And it keeps bubbling up that I'd like to reach out to Josh Molina, who's one of the stars on the West Wing. I like the guy and I'd like to reach out. I don't know when or how I'm going to do it, but I'm picking up things as I listen to his
Mhm.
podcast that he's interested in, that he finds funny, things that I find funny. And I thought I might
You're
just reach
looking for
out to
that
him on
in.
Twitter. Pardon?
Yeah, you're looking for that in. And it doesn't have to be a complete hardcore pitch. Like you say, you start building that relationship on social media. We have so much opportunity literally in the palm of our hand. But how many of you out there have the courage to do something about it?
Yep. Yep. And look, it might look, when you look at successful people, so you look at Anna, or if you look at me, a lot of people think, oh, well, you just everything you do is successful. No way. Are you kidding? I finally got the courage to reach out to George R. Martin, who wrote a little book called Game of Thrones.
Amazing. Yeah.
And no, sorry, it wasn't him. There's another guy who's one of my favorite authors, Patrick Rothfuss, wrote a book called The Name of the Wind. And for 10 years, we've been waiting for the third book. And I thought, I want to coach that guy. I can help him. And I think that'd be fun for me. And I finally reached out, didn't hear back. And I bring that up because that's just an example of the many times I've reached out. Like, I've reached out to Tim Minchin, who's probably pretty big in the UK. And I did comedy back when he was getting started. And every now and then I've gotten a response, but not in the last few years. But again, I reach out again. I'm like, Tim, I want to coach you. What's that going to take? I there's You do 1,000 things and 990 of them don't work.
Hmm.
But then you get 10 that take off and people go, oh, wow, congratulations. They don't see. It's a numbers game. It's the law of large numbers. Ask and ask. And then you'll be surprised when you get a yes. You'll be like, oh my God. So, you know,
Hmm.
like Entrepreneurs on Fire said yes to me being on the podcast. They get 1 million downloads, but you don't get the hundreds that I've asked that
That
just don't
didn't
even
say no.
respond.
Yeah.